Known for his jaw-dropping generosity and insane challenges, there's no one like MrBeast. I mean, there are not a lot of people who can compete with his 332 million subscribers, but his kingdom is on the verge of collapse because almost everyone and their grandma on YouTube is taking shots at the dude for all he's done up until now.
Career-ending allegations of hiring a registered vendor, hosting illegal lotteries, and faking his videos. It's safe to say that MrBeast is currently one of the most hated creators on the platform, and his lack of response or accountability for months only made things worse.
I investigated MrBeast, who was recently accused of making $23 million with insider trading and scams.
From hiring questionable individuals to allegations of insider trading and shady partnerships, fans and creators alike are questioning his actions.
People are very upset with MrBeast because of this tweet. As y'all know, MrBeast recently investigated himself and found no wrongdoing.
And, well, it doesn't look like he's getting out of it this time. Has MrBeast bitten off more than he can chew? Or is this a classic case of cancel culture? Let's break down why everyone seems to be taking shots at MrBeast. So, it all kinda started when MrBeast sat down with Oompaville and finally gave fans his side of the story. And, well, it's been a long time coming. The dude's been hit with so many allegations over the past few years, and it was about time he gave fans some straight answers. The only problem is that MrBeast wasn't really ready to admit stuff.
Were you so silent? Especially off the bat, like you did respond to the Ava Tyson stuff immediately, but like, you know, right after that, a bunch of other stuff came out and Dawson's video, his first video, gained a bunch of traction. What was your reasoning for being so silent immediately?
Yeah, that's a great question to kick it off on. You actually kind of laid out the timeline there. The Ava stuff came out and I put out that tweet. We hired the investigators to go look into it. And part of that investigation is they recommended that I not talk about drama or really do anything online because it might influence, you know, witnesses or any people they might interview.
He started off talking about the Delaware accusations. So just a short recap, his actual name is Charles Robert Jefferson, and he was featured in some of MrBeast's videos. In fact, he's a manager at MrBeast's studio.
Anything, Philip? If anyone's never watched, you need to. It's awesome. Everything they do is for a great cause. MrBeast. Want my free shirt.
The only problem is that the dude is a convicted felon, and when fans uncovered Charles' criminal past, you can bet they came for MrBeast's neck. They were pissed that their favorite YouTuber hired a man with a sick history and even gave him the nickname Delaware. But MrBeast shut down that pack of lies during the interview. He said that he hadn't known about the dude's past and that he didn't give him the nickname either.
You know, that is not true. His name was just Delaware. I didn't, you know, call him Delaware to make fun of him or anything. And I mean, I'm sure you're gonna ask about it later,
Yeah.
but like, there's literally, he was in a video before I hired him working at Best Buy wearing a name tag that said Delaware. And like, that was public information. And like, you know, anyone could have saw that. And like, even during when that was like getting shared a lot a couple months ago, I even sent that to a couple YouTubers. I was like, hey, just so you know, like, I didn't call him Delaware because of this messed up thing. Like, that was just his name and here's proof. And I guess I probably shouldn't say the name of the creators, but like one of them literally just said to me like, well, it's not really cool to like you or defend you right now, so I don't really.
And well, he was right there. You can check out his video titled, "I gave $20,000 to random homeless people" for yourself and check the facts. As for why MrBeast hired him in the first place, well, he said he didn't do background checks back then, but there's just one problem with that statement. According to Jack the Viking, he did. He made a post saying, Delaware sat down with Jimmy and Sue, Jimmy's mom, and explained to them everything, but MrBeast shut down that as well.
A rumor that's gone around that said that he sat me and my mom down and told us. Obviously, I don't remember that happening. And when I read that tweet, the first thing I did was I called my mom and I was like, hey, this is like 7 or 8 years ago. Just put this in context. 7 or 8 years ago, not indicative of my company today, but I was like, did this happen? Because someone's claiming this happened. My mom said, I would have literally quit or honestly probably shut the business down before I ever let my teenage son hire a registered sex offender knowingly.
Now, he may have cleared up that allegation as best as he could, but don't worry, he had plenty to talk about during the 2-hour interview, like about him having a poster from Shadman up in his room. For those of you who don't know, Shadman is the big bad wolf, the absolute scum of the internet who derives some sort of pleasure from making sick pictures of kids. And well, when the Ava Tyson thing happened, fans noticed one of his posters in MrBeast's
On
room.
November 18th, 2017, Ava responded to a tweet from Grande and MrBeast stating, "This is coming from a guy who owns a Shady-based drawing and has it as a centerpiece in his living room."
You can bet people had a lot of questions. Well, here's what MrBeast had to say about it.
Posters up on the wall. I just like set a foundation for context. We used to have a bunch of anime posters and things like that on our wall in the house, and one day Ava put up this poster that was like an animated character.
Now, we could excuse that, since MrBeast said it was just the poster and didn't do a deep dive into it, which, that's just kinda sus, if you ask me, because the dude did interact with Shatman. But anyway, after closing that door, MrBeast moved on to CoffeeZilla's accusations. Now, Coffee has an axe to grind with MrBeast because he did a whole video on MrBeast dabbling in insider trading.
Major allegations against MrBeast and build on those. They come from two sources. Firstly, an investigation by Soma XBT, which claims MrBeast made $10 million by backing low-cap crypto tokens, which are down 90%. And the second investigation comes from a group of 5 people who investigated MrBeast and found $23 million in profits from, quote, scams, shady deals, and his network. Now, there are a lot of crypto projects they go over, and I want to be clear. Some of these allegations, I agree, are bad. Others, I think, are actually worse than have been reported, and still other allegations I simply disagree with them on.
And, well, here's what MrBeast had to say to Coffee.
The gist of this report was Jimmy is too stupid to like make this kind of money, therefore it must be insider trading. This is his wallet, you know. Clearly there was insider trading because he never would have been able to make this kind of money. When in reality, which is what I told Coffee in that statement we gave him, it was managed by a fund. So I wasn't the one managing the wallet. I've never had access to that wallet. I've never done the buying and selling on that wallet. There's a actual professional who's written books on crypto and lived and breathes crypto every second of the day managing it. So most of the allegations there are just answered by I am too stupid to do that. That's why a fund was managing it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, like Coffee said, if he literally said this in a video. If you like Jimmy, then you're like, yeah, he has answers for everything and just checks out. And if you don't like Jimmy, then you're gonna go, there's obviously wrongdoing here.
He also said that some of the wallet transactions were made while he was in the middle of a music video, so there's no way he could have done it.
You can look at it and see days where I was maybe in solitary confinement or doing a video where I didn't even have access to a computer and there's trading.
True.
So for the conspiracy theorists that think I'm lying and using the fund as a cover up, I mean, there's gotta be some way where you could just figure that out, or I was on a plane ride or something.
Except there's one teeny tiny detail he forgot. MrBeast actually said the opposite stuff about the crypto thing during another interview.
Like I said on that podcast, called me and a bunch of other people, said CryptoPunks were the next big thing. I thought it was pretty crazy, but the first thing I did right after that is just called the guy in charge of the fund who invested my money and it's other people's money as well, and just said, hey, Gary Vee seemed very passionate about these punks. You should look into it. If it makes sense, buy it. And so, he did the research, picked what punks to buy, bought them. I don't even truthfully know how to buy punks. I've never bought one, me personally.
Okay. Like
I've said, I don't have access to that wallet. So, I mean, in other transparency, that's kind of high level how it went. But, if he was like, oh, this is a shit investment, then he wouldn't have bought them. So, he was the one who was doing the buying and selling and managing things.
Okay. But you did make some decisions to buy or sell in the Wu-Tang Fund.
Well, I mean, yeah.
So which is it? Did he make transactions or did he not make the transactions? Well, he better make his mind up soon because he can't have it both ways. Still, the dude gave himself a pat on the back for shutting down CoffeeZilla. After this, he moved on to these CGI rumors. Yeah, a couple of fans noticed that MrBeast had used CGI in his videos, which created this whole drama about his videos being staged or even faked. One person said, the issue is he is inflating a problem so he can appear as the hero who fixed it. By photoshopping existing structures to appear more decrepit or abandoned, he hopes to validate his philanthropic reputation with the public. Building a hospital is a good thing, but misleading people by doctoring images of the before and after is manipulation. And well, here's what MrBeast had to say about that.
And in the past, that hospital wasn't there, so they removed it in the editing. Which, and this was just a small part of this isn't even the point of the video was that we built this hospital or whatever. There was just a shot at the beginning. But some people saw that and thought we did build it, which is not the intention. And so it's just a dumb mistake. Like, trust me, when I saw that, I talked to the editors. I was like, come on, like, you know, I have 100 editors, and obviously we have a bunch of different channels and things like that. So it's hard for me to like speak with all of them, but it was just truthfully a silly mistake. But we never said we built that hospital or anything, but I could see how some people might perceive that we were trying to like give off that we were.
He also said that a small percentage of his videos did use CGI, but was only used to improve the editing. And he didn't want his fans to think that he had actually faked the videos just because of that small percentage. But honestly, the jury's still out on that one. Now, MrBeast might have gone out on a limb by sitting down for that interview, but the truth is, no one's really looking to buy what he's selling. YouTube commentators are taking the piss out of him. In fact, the internet anarchist even left a comment on the video saying, "You hear that? That's the sound of rent being paid for commentary YouTubers." Fans are on the same page as well. One person commented, "Sorry, you were used. Jimmy strategically used you so he wouldn't have to face an assertive interviewer like CoffeeZilla." Meanwhile, another person commented, "MrBeast would never do an interview with CoffeeZilla. I respect Oompa and I'm happy he's getting more respect, but there were many points throughout the video that he isn't pushing back on. Coffee would never let some of these answers slide. Like every time MrBeast would say, 'Whoops, my bad,' like playing ignorance, Coffee would never let that slide. And honestly, playing ignorance is what KSI and Logan Paul did in the past. The fact that they're associated with each other speaks volumes. And one big question that wasn't answered, if MrBeast is so focused on doing the right thing, why did he partner up with Logan Paul? Logan still hasn't paid the CryptoZoo scam victims and has even sued CoffeeZilla, and not to mention all the other countless controversies and scandals. If I were MrBeast, I wouldn't even associate with Logan Paul. So, do you think MrBeast is done for? Was his apology even real? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and make sure to check out my other videos on my channel.